If you're a normal person who has a healthy relationship with social media, you might not be aware of the drama that went down around a men's conference this past weekend. Here's a quick review of what happened. To kick off this men's conference, there was an acrobat who took off his shirt and did things like this. And it was discovered later that this dude has been a male stripper in the past. Okay. Then firebrand and professional speaker, author, personality guy, Mark Driscoll, walks up, and he's a featured speaker at this conference, but he wants to walk up and criticize the fact that this has even occurred at all, and says that there's the spirit of Jezebel present. That looked like this.
But the Jezebel spirit has already been here. The Jezebel spirit opened our event. This is a rebuke and a correction of no one. This is an observation. Before the Word of God was open, there was a platform. It was a high place. On it was a pole, an asherah. The same thing that's used in a strip club for women who have the Jezebel spirit to seduce men. In front of that was a man who ripped his shirt off like a woman does in front of a pole at a strip club.
As he was talking, the guy running the conference called him out of order, got him off the stage.
And then he swallowed a sword, and Jesus cried, "Okay, Pastor John, I'll receive that. Thank you."
And then there was any manner of booze and heckling for the guy running the conference. How dare you run off popular speaker guy that we paid our good money to see in action at this big arena? Anyway, if you're wondering, what are we to make of this? What do we do with this strangeness? I'm here to say I'm not scandalized by any of it. Here's why. Mega churches and the whole enterprise of professional, big time, out in public Christianity have made their bones and made their living with the spectacle of entertainment as a wrapping around some kind of Christian teaching or speaking or even worship. You really can't go to a big time kind of worship event without there being spectacle of every kind around it. That's what's happening at this men's conference. It's very normal. You can see the giant motorcycle in 3D LED living color behind the main stage. That's very normal in that world. And here's the spectacle and entertainment value of whatever they're trying to say about, I don't know, a man's strength, a man's ability to swallow a sword. I don't know what they're trying to do with their opening piece, but that's very normal in that world. This is the way that world is. So it doesn't seem abnormal to me that there would be this spectacle of this performer on stage. I, having been in mega church world before, and in my younger days, before I had all this gray hair, was a performer on the stage in that world, and have performed many times with people in all manner of lifestyles and all manner of belief systems, performing with me on stage at these places. Why? Because they are interested not in the doctrinal purity of the people on stage. That's what Mark Driscoll got bent out of shape about, partly, but about the spectacle, that people are interested to see what's happening. I'm also not scandalized by Mark Driscoll's response. It's obvious that he was troubled by what he saw. He took it very seriously. He said he'd been praying. He kind of got down on his knee on stage as I suppose an act of supplication or humility. but I'm not scandalized by his being troubled by it or by his making this great stand about it. Mark Driscoll lives in big time world. He lives in big time conference speaker world. He lives in the world of entertainment. He lives in the world of clicks. He lives in the world of show, and he's one of the attractions at the show. I know how it feels to be on stage, to be one of the sideshows at the circus, and to have consternation inside you because of the show that's going on, and think, well, would I sign off on all of this? Well, I don't even know that I would hire myself to be one of the sideshow acts, but I took the paycheck for being one of the sideshows. And that's the position that Mark Driscoll finds himself in. Now we get into all the technicalities of, now, how does the Bible say that we're supposed to correct a brother and all of this stuff? Look, you're at a circus. You're part of the circus. If you don't like circuses, don't show up at the circus. So I'm not scandalized by any of it. I have a shoulder shrug to a guy ripping off his top and climbing up a pole. I thought the sword swallowing was pretty amazing, but I don't have any reaction to them hiring a guy to do that. And I don't have any reaction to Mark Driscoll getting all upset and trying to invoke a spiritual purity. It's kind of funny to me that Mark Driscoll would think there's a way to do this circus with the giant motorcycle, the big LED screen. There was obviously going to be some spectacle to kick off the thing. I'm sure he was promoted as, come see the guy who's been such a controversial figure in Christianity. He will come talk to all these men. We could have a debate about whether Mark Driscoll should be on any stage anywhere teaching anybody anything about the Bible. But he wants to invoke, this must be doctrinally pure. There needs to be a spiritual purity to it. And I shrug my shoulders at the whole thing. Paul, the Apostle Paul, doesn't have anything to say about big time carnival conferences and smoke and mirrors and a flashing light show. He's not interested in that. The Bible doesn't address the correct way, how many performers you should have and how much clothes on each man acrobat climbing up a 60-foot pole in front of 1,000 men. We're kind of outside of the lines of the Bible. So I'm not scandalized by any of it. I would say to any of us that are watching this from the sidelines going, how am I supposed to feel about this? We don't have to be scandalized by any of it. We don't have to enter into that world of big time, showtime Christianity. We could do this thing that Paul encourages us to do, which is to keep our heads down, to stay low to the ground as far as our faith is concerned, to be consistent in our pursuit of God. And when it comes to meeting with men, great. Meet a small group of men, encourage each other, talk about your personal struggles, where your hopes are, pray for each other. That would be a great thing for you to do with other men. And if you wanted to go to an arena together, go see the Globetrotters. They're great.